Edward III of England was bound by truce not to take any offensive action in France. Nothing in it, however, hindered France from subduing rebellious vassals. In November, after a short siege and defeat at the Battle of Champ-Contier, John of Montfort was forced to surrender at Nantes by the citizens. He was offered safe conduct to negotiate a settlement with Charles of Blois, but when this led nowhere, he was thrown into prison. It now fell upon John's wife, Joanna of Flanders, to lead the Montfortist cause. Deeming her possessions in the east indefensible, she set up headquarters at Hennebon in western Brittany, but was driven into Brest and besieged. The siege being broken by the arrival of an English army under the Earl of Northampton at the naval battle of Brest. In Paris, it was feared that Edward III would land at Calais once the truce ran out. The major part of the French army was therefore withdrawn. In late November, Edward III arrived with his army at Brest. He almost at once marched against Vannes. The siege dragged on and a French army was assembled to meet him. But on the 19th of January 1343, before any major engagements could be fought, the two kings agreed upon a new truce. Vannes was taken into papal custody. With John of Montfort in prison, his son an infant, and his wife recently gone mad, the places under Montfort's control were in practice administered from London, with a large permanent English garrison at Brest. The truce was to last until the 29th of September 1346, with the hopes that in the meantime the disputes between the two kingdoms could be permanently settled. But in Brittany it made little difference. The truce bound the two kings and their followers, but Charles of Blois continued claiming to be fighting his own separate war and was therefore not bound by any truce. The brutal, small-scale fighting continued at the same pace. In Paris, John of Montfort was released from prison on the 1st of September 1343 in return for a huge bond and a promise to stay on his estates in the east. The English coastal garrisons held firm, but the Montfortist party continued to crumble. They had some successes, such as the expulsion of the papal custodians from Vannes, but with no unifying leadership. Mostly they were reduced to pleading for men and money from London. To hamper communication between Brest and Vannes, Charles of Blois laid siege to Quimper in early March 1344. The city fell by assault on the 1st of May, and as usual at that time, this meant the slaughter of civilians in huge numbers, estimated between 1,400 and 2,000. The English prisoners were held for ransom, but the Breton and Norman captives were dispatched to Paris, where they were executed for treason. During the summer and autumn, the Montfortist party fell apart. Even those who had been John of Montfort's staunchest allies now considered it futile to continue the struggle. It therefore mattered little that in March 1345 John finally managed to escape to England. With no adherents of his notes of his own, he was now little more than a figurehead for English ambitions in Brittany.